This is Samsung Galaxy A50S. I have used this phone for 4 years. I bought this phone in December 2019 at 26,000 Kenyan shillings. Now, I preferred buying the Samsung Galaxy A50S over the A50 because this phone had better cameras than the A50, and back then the A50 had become very common. So I have used this phone for 4 years and the few months into 2024. As I said, I bought it in December 2019. Now, this phone, as you can see, it has a cracked screen, okay? But the rest of the phone looks very clean. I have used it in a casing ever since then until the casing started cracking, and it had already gotten a brown color back there about after a year of use, but that was not a big issue. Now, what made me replace this phone? Because of the things that I didn't like about this phone. Number one, out of the box, the fingerprint sensor was just a hit and a miss. Like right now, you can see, good, it has just picked, but it is just a thing of a hit and a miss. Okay, it tends to behave, right now it's behaving well because actually it knows that it has been replaced. Number two, the thing that I didn't like about this phone the most was the sound. The sound from this phone is just small, it is horrible, it is scratchy, it has no volume at all. The sound from this phone out of the box was just terrible. What other thing don't I like about this phone? The battery life. Now, just when this phone is in the pocket, it loses battery like crazy. You can just take an example. If I'm making a WhatsApp call and I'm using the loudspeaker, I can just watch as the battery percentage is dropping. The battery percentage has become so bad that I cannot work without a charger. And now the charging speeds are still prolonged 1.5 hours to get this battery charged, which by today's standards is still very long. Now, what has gone wrong with this phone over the last 4 years that I've used it? Number one, the screen has cracked, but the function is still intact. The mouthpiece went kaput. So for like about 1 year, I have just been using the phone on loudspeaker because the mouthpiece is gone and the person on the other end cannot hear what I'm saying. The other things about this phone are still intact. Now, what do I like about this phone? The camera. The camera on this phone is amazing. Even up to now, the camera is still very good. Now, we can take an example. Let us see. The camera on this phone. Just look at that clarity. The camera on this phone is amazing. The quality is amazing. The picture quality, the resolution, the colors, very nice. Very nice. Also, the other thing that I like about this phone is the screen. The screen, this is a Samsung screen. It is very vivid. It is very bright. It is just a joy to look at. What else do I like about this phone? It is thin, as you can see. It has a curved back. And when holding this phone on the hand, it is very easy to hold this phone. You just don't feel like you're holding a phone. You can hold it for excessively long periods. You can see the edges are curved, so it doesn't dig into your palm when you are holding this phone. However, having used this phone for 4 years, it is time for a replacement. The compromises that I'm getting on this phone right now are just too much. As in, even the other day, for example, I had to replace this phone after it just failed to connect to the Wi-Fi that I've been using at my workplace. I mean, that was just the breaking point. Without Wi-Fi, I couldn't just do anything with this phone because I've been doing a lot of WhatsApp calls. I've been doing a lot of WhatsApp messages, with the clients and with, my colleagues. And it was just something that I could not live with. So, out goes Samsung Galaxy A50S. You've given me good service for the last 4 years. I give you a 10 gun salute. And which phone am I bringing in? Now, after those flaws that I was seeing with Samsung Galaxy A50, I just made a decision that I'm not going to buy another Samsung phone, at least not the ones in the mid category. I have not had an experience with the ones in the upper segment. Probably that would make sense, of course, for the money, or of course for the value for the money that it's giving. But I am replacing this phone with Oppo A78. I have gone with Oppo because of the things that it is offering. Number one, it has a very capable Snapdragon processor. Number two, it has dual speakers with very good sound quality. Number three, it still retains the headphone jack, which I use a lot. Number four, the camera is still as good. Number five, the charging speed is very fast. It has a 60-watt charger and it charges very fast. In about 45 minutes, I think the battery is full. Number six, the price is right, because for a 256 GB phone, it's going for about 32,000 Kenya shillings. And for the 128 GB, it's going for about 26 to 28,000 shillings. And the other thing I like about Oppo is that this particular phone has an AMOLED screen and it is high resolution, so it is very good to scroll. Now, I am using the Oppo A78 to record this video. Previously, I have been using this Samsung phone and I just came to find out that the volume on the recorded video was way too low. It was, I've been posting them on YouTube and the volume was just too low. In fact, at some point I had to do, a talk over on the video just so that my audience could get what I was saying. So, good riddance, Samsung. Bye bye.